Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now, Special Edition.
We begin with breaking news of a fire this evening. The Spokane Fire Department is responding to a fire on North Monroe Street and West Boone Avenue. The fire department says that the cause of the fire was a car crashing into an electrical pole. The people trapped inside of the car were rescued. They also say the fire spread to the ambulance station in the alley on Sharp and Boone. Spokane Fire Department says no one was critically injured. Avista is reporting power outages in that area. You can find the full story right now on KXLY.com. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Emily Bloom. Now we've had a beautiful start to the weekend. We're going to send things straight over to meteorologist Matt Gray for the changes, big and small, that are headed our way, Matt.
Yeah, and it's going to be quite a bit of a weather whiplash after such a beautiful day. And we go into kind of the end of tomorrow and into our Halloween Monday. Things are definitely going to feel and look a lot different out there. You can see a big stream of moisture, another one of these atmospheric rivers, we like to call them, that's pushing into BC and now into the western side of the state of Washington. It's going to take some time, but that moisture is going to get across the mountains, and we are going to have some issues here with wet weather when it does. Now, until then, we're going to continue on with these very nice conditions we've had so far this weekend. Temperatures down to the 40s in Spokane, 46 right now, 45, still a little cloudy in Coeur d'Alene. We have had just a gorgeous day. We'll have a pretty nice night as well. We are going to start to cloud over, though, as that storm approaches. 41, turning cloudy, winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then as we head through the day tomorrow, most of the days should actually be pretty dry. As we get later into the day, we'll start to see that rain begin to pop up. I'll go through your futurecast and what you should expect for Halloween coming up.
Thanks, Matt. Well, temperatures have been dropping quick and snow could be here by the middle of the week. That means it's time to brush up on your winter driving skills. Bronte Sorotsky rode along with a Spokane driving instructor and shares how to stay safe on the roads this winter.
Well, it's been a while since we've seen the snow, and we might have forgotten some of the tricks and techniques you're supposed to do when that snow hits. Well, I spoke with a Spokane driving instructor to know what to do before it snows. What speed should people be going at?
Well, there's really no set speed, but they should use what they call due care, so driving for your conditions.
It's already that time to get out the snow tires, shovels, and cat litter. Spokane could see snow as soon as Wednesday. And that first snow of the season can be more dangerous for drivers.
Because the first snow is when everybody's getting readjusted to it, and they just don't anticipate it. They're a little bit overconfident from driving all summer long with no real problems. They don't realize they have to increase that distance, slow down a little bit.
Going slow is one of the best ways to navigate snowy roads. But Burgess says sliding and losing control can still happen. So when it does, remain calm.
Maybe add a little gas, try to get it back into the position it was in. You know, keep the brake tight.
When driving up or down hills, drive slower and brake sooner.
If you break the traction of the tires, it's kind of hard to get it back. Going downhill, especially on ice, start braking a lot sooner. You know, if you normally brake at a certain spot, push that back.
When you're driving near other cars or stopped at a light, make sure you give yourself extra time to hit the brakes.
Normally you want 2 or 3 seconds on a road like this, so maybe you want to push that back to 3 or 4 seconds. It just gives you more time to react and gives you the ability to avoid a dangerous situation.
And a reminder, the best thing you can do is to not panic and to just take it slow. Reporting in Spokane, Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
Today is National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. People were able to anonymously get rid of any unused medications at a secure drop-off site, no questions asked. DEA employees, Spokane community leaders, and law enforcement were on site at the Northtown Mall to speak about the importance of getting these unused drugs out of homes. Clearing the drugs out can help prevent pill abuse and the use of expired or unwanted drugs. In 2021, the County Medical Examiner reported an almost 300% increase in overdose deaths. The Take Back Day brings attention to the issues these unused drugs can cause.
It's removing the prescription drugs from people's homes, but also awareness about just drugs in general. Spokane is a regional narcotics distribution hub, so we have a lot of drugs that come over the border. They come to Spokane, and this is a hub because then it goes east along Interstate 90. And so we're seeing a much more fentanyl in our community.
Tonight, the Spokane Alliance for Fentanyl Education is hosting a Fall Family Fest event to bring awareness to the dangers of fentanyl in our community. And tragic news from around the world today. A Halloween parade in Seoul, South Korea turned deadly when at least 149 people died in a Halloween incident. That includes 2 foreign nationals. Authorities say the incident is presumed to be a stampede. Another 76 people have been injured. Will Ripley was on the scene as emergency responders were retrieving bodies.
An incredibly tragic Halloween weekend here in the iconic Itaewon nightclub district in Seoul. This is a row of stretchers that we initially thought were waiting for potential survivors of this incident at a Halloween party where thousands of people were packed into a relatively tight area. But in fact, we've now realized that these stretchers are being used to bring back bodies. And we've just seen body after body rolling past here. We still don't know all the details. The social media videos and the 911 calls, the emergency calls from people who said they couldn't breathe after some sort of an incident at a Halloween party. We know that people fly in from all over the region to come here and celebrate Halloween. All of the area hotels are pretty much booked solid. And on social media throughout the night, there were people in costume so tightly packed in the streets that it looked like they could barely move. And then the calls started coming in. People said that they couldn't breathe. More than 80 phone calls from people who said they were having trouble breathing. And the fire officials out here have now confirmed that dozens of them died of cardiac arrest and perhaps other injuries sustained in some sort of what local media describes as possibly a stampede or a crush. People fell, and the end result is this. The streets that were packed for a celebration of Halloween are now packed with close to 900 emergency personnel dispatched by the president of South Korea. There is a national disaster management team on scene here to try to figure out exactly what happened. And right now, to bring out these bodies, many of them in their Halloween costumes, people who came out here to celebrate and are never going to come home. Will Ripley, CNN, Seoul, South Korea.
Following the tragic event, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol ordered authorities in Seoul to rapidly identify victims for families, according to Senior Presidential Secretary for Public Relations, Kim Eun-hae. Also immediately activated an emergency management headquarters following that incident. And 2 car bomb explosions at the Education Ministry in Somalia's capital killed and wounded nearly 40 people. Authorities said the Islamic group Al-Shabaab carried out the attack targeting innocent civilians, including children. The attack was near the Education Ministry and intersection and a school. The Somali journalists confirmed that a TV reporter had also been killed. According to an officer, the second explosion happened as ambulances and people arrived to help the victims. Somalia's new president, Hassan Sheikh Mohammed, with support from the United States, has launched an offensive against that group. And Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, with her husband after an attacker broke into their home and injured Paul Pelosi. New details on that suspect are coming up.
And we are going to stay dry most of tomorrow, but when the rain starts, it is just going to keep going and going and going. We are in for a very soggy start to the week and a little bit of a dreary and soggy Halloween as well. We'll show you what else this week has in store. Maybe even a few snowflakes in the region. That's coming up.
4 News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
4 News Now is brought to you by End the Violence.
At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
What I want people to know about New America's involvement is that it's genuine.
I work at a company that supports the community because we're a part of it.
It's important to give back to the community you live in. We are truly here to help, and we're passionate about it.
This is a town called Basic. It's pretty hard to stand out around here. But if you pull up in a 2022 Nissan Rogue, you'll stand out before your feet even hit the pavement.
Can you make mine look like that?
Anything but basic. The 2022 Nissan Rogue. Get 1.9% APR financing for 36 months on Rogue with best-in-class fuel economy.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life, you live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence, we see the life in you.
If you're looking to score big on the best lineup of certified used or new SUVs and trucks just in time for the winter months, plus get up to 60 months low interest financing, then come on down to Finley for a touchdown of savings.
This is Gloria. She hasn't worked this hard to only get this far with her cholesterol. Taken with a statin, Leqvio can lower bad cholesterol by over 50% and keep it low with 2 doses a year. Side effects were injection site reaction, joint pain, urinary tract infection, diarrhea, chest cold, pain in legs or arms, and shortness of breath. With Leqvio, lowering cholesterol becomes just one more thing life throws your way. Ask your doctor about Leqvio. Lower, longer, Leqvio.
This time of year, conditions can change drastically in minutes. For weather that extreme, you need the 4 News Now First Alert Weather Team. Online, on the air, and on the app. That's what we mean when we say expect more.
Around the nation today, new details emerge from the attack on Paul Pelosi. Police are still gathering evidence to determine a motive in the brutal attack, while the suspect is expected to be arraigned Tuesday on multiple felony charges. Authorities say it was the quick thinking and a call by Paul Pelosi that helped police get to the scene within a matter of minutes. Natasha Chen has more.
San Francisco Police Chief Bill Scott became emotional during a press conference Friday evening, saying this attack was intentional and wrong, adding that family members of our elected leaders did not sign up for this and that we should all be disgusted. Speaker Pelosi arrived at Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital behind me here by mid-afternoon on Friday. Doctors here said her husband, Paul Pelosi, underwent successful surgery to repair a skull fracture and serious injuries to his arm and hands. He is expected to make a full recovery. The suspect is also still being treated at the hospital for minor injuries. Now, police have been able to speak with him, 42-year-old David Wayne DePape. He is expected to be booked on suspicion of attempted murder, first-degree burglary, and assault with a deadly weapon, among other charges. The San Francisco police chief said the assailant broke into the Pelosi residence through the back door in the early hours on Friday morning. Speaker Pelosi was in D.C. at the time. The DA said it is really thanks to Mr. Pelosi calling 911 and talking to a dispatcher in code, and the instinct of that dispatcher to realize something was wrong and making that police call a priority. Chief Scott said that instinct was life-saving. He said someone opened the door when police knocked, and police saw Mr. Pelosi and the suspect through the doorway, both holding on to the same hammer. Police gave commands for both men to drop the hammer, and the police chief said that then the suspect pulled the hammer away and violently attacked Mr. Pelosi with at least 1 strike. And a Facebook page that DePape's family members say was his was taken down on Friday, but showed posted memes and conspiracy theories about COVID vaccines, the 2020 election, and the January 6th attack. An acquaintance told CNN that he was, quote, out of touch with reality. DePape may be assigned a public defender once the arraignment is scheduled. The DA's office said they expect to file formal charges on Monday with an arraignment likely on Tuesday. Back to you.
After voting in his home state of Delaware on Saturday, President Joe Biden reacted to the attack on Paul Pelosi. The president blamed the assault on House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband in their San Francisco home on election misinformation. Biden noted the accused assailant used language from the January 6th Capitol riot, asking, "Where's Nancy?"
The talk has to stop. That's the problem. That's the problem. We can't just say, I feel badly about the violence. We condemn it. Condemn what produces the violence. And this talk produces the violence.
Biden said all the right-wing malarkey, as he puts it, is toxic and is affecting people's mentality. The president went on to say many people are willing to condemn the violence, but not willing to condemn those who say the election was stolen. And a beautiful fall day to start out our weekend. We have meteorologist Matt Gray in. And Matt, you were tracking some changes that a lot of people are probably worried about.
Yeah, I think so, right? We, you know, how many layers, how many umbrellas do I need, right? If you're taking the kids out trick-or-treating on Monday, you're going to need a few. I'm going to tell you that right now, because you can already see the wet weather trying to push its way into the west side, and some impressive cloud formations over the Cascades today as a result. And we will be clouding over as we go throughout the night, and that is leading us to some very warm temperatures overnight. We're talking about 10+ degrees warmer than what we would usually see at this point in the year, which is low in mid-30s. Instead, we're talking about 40s galore. Well, excuse me, I've got a little bit ahead of myself. These are the temperatures right now. It's still going to be pretty mild tonight, but yeah, there you go. That's what you get for having a little brain skip on the air there. But yeah, pretty comfortable as we sit right now. And look, we're not going to get all that much cooler than this. We really are only talking about low 40s. So we're talking about still 6, 7, 8 degrees above where we would usually be on your average late October day. So not a lot of changes here between now and about 9 in the morning as far as temperatures goes. Here are your lows. It's still going to be fairly cool in places like Colville, Omak, Winthrop, Bonners Ferry, all dropping down into the 30s, upper 30s in St. Mary's, mid-30s on the Palouse, 40s in the LC Valley. And for tomorrow, our highs very similar to what we have seen today. We'll be back up into the mid-50s. We'll see a few spots get up around 60 degrees in eastern Washington and around the LC Valley. Now, as we go through the day, it is going to get a little breezy. You will notice the wind, kind of similar to what we saw this past Thursday, where we'll probably need that extra layer, even though the temperatures are warm, because it is cloudy. We're not getting much sunshine. And because it is, you're going to feel the effect of that wind for sure, especially across some of the flatlands in Washington. So as we go through the day, keep an eye on your evening and really through the afternoon as well, because there will be some isolated showers that start to push their way across the mountains and get going here. So here is 8 in the morning, some isolated mountain showers, maybe even a shower or two getting into the lower Columbia Basin. And then as we head into the afternoon and evening, you can kind of see here, once again, mainly showers up in the mountains, but you could see a sprinkle down in the valleys on occasion. And then here is midnight as we go into early hours of Monday morning, and you can see that rain all of a sudden starting to expand as basically we open the water hose, Mother Nature does. And look at this. This is Monday morning. This is Monday afternoon, and this is right about trick-or-treat time, right? Sun goes down at about 5:30. Here's 6 o'clock, and it is pretty wet across much of the inland Northwest, especially from Spokane and Coeur d'Alene to the south. So, yeah, you're going to need that umbrella, the raincoat, maybe even two. As we get through the upcoming week, much cooler weather, and that's going to put us in the zone to perhaps see some of our first snowflakes of the season in many of our communities. I'll dig into that a little deeper in the next half hour.
Thanks, Matt. Foster Farms is recalling around 148,000 pounds of fully cooked chicken patties. The USDA says the patties might be contaminated with hard, clear pieces of metal or other materials. The packages were sent to Costco locations across the West, including Washington. So far, there have been no reported injuries from the product, but the Food Safety Inspection Service says the hard plastic pieces are sharp and could cause injuries. If you have these products in your fridge, you are asked to throw them away or return them to wherever you bought them. And coming up, why getting your flu shot is more important this year than in years past. And most adults say they won't be getting the next COVID booster. Those numbers are coming up.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
You didn't choose cat allergies. You didn't choose your hairline, hot flashes, the flu, or that thing when your knee just gives out for no reason. You didn't choose your bad back, or this, or that. You didn't choose depression, melanoma, or lactose intolerance. But with Kaiser Permanente, you can choose your doctor who works with other best-in-class specialists to care for all that is you.
It's a prime-time Plinko party like you've never seen. Qualify in November and win a shot at Plinko Cash at the Kootenai Casino in Bonners Ferry. And our Plinko party is just the beginning. Midweek room rates are just $109 for Kootenai Falls Lodge or $129 for a Riverview room. Both come with breakfast for two. If you like parties and you like winning cash, book a getaway to the Kootenai Casino. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
Look at where we live. A constellation of individuals creating Washington's communities. With all the talent and potential we possess, a bright future unfolds. By continuously reinvesting in ourselves and others, keeping it local, greater opportunities are created to bring you and all of us in Washington forward. Join us. The credit union working to create a better Washington for all. WSECU.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get $1,500 total cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, now during truck season, get $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
They keep us safe, put their lives on the line every day. Yet radicals want to defund the police and give criminals get-out-of-jail-free cards. That's the last thing we need. Law enforcement has a champion, Kathy McMorris Rodgers. Kathy says no to defunding the police and voted to secure more funding for local police departments. Endorsed by police and sheriffs, Kathy backs the blue and they back her.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rodgers and I approve this message.
4 News Now is brought to you by End the Violence.
At hospitals across the country, pediatric beds continue to fill up with children facing a triple threat of respiratory illnesses. That is COVID, the flu, and RSV, as they are pushing hospitals near max capacity. One Seattle hospital is even using overflow tents. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
75% of pediatric beds nationwide are filled as of Monday, the highest level the country has seen in 2 years. A wave of respiratory viruses making an early season impact.
It's really kind of a perfect storm of all of these germs coming together at once instead of their normal organized seasonal pattern.
Seattle Children's Emergency Department now pushing 200% capacity. This overflow tent set up outside to help with the volume. In Ohio, Wilder Jackson first got the flu, then 3 other respiratory viruses. He was hospitalized for 4 days.
The fever spiked to 105 and he started actually hallucinating. He would look at spots on the ceiling and just start freaking out and crying.
Texas is one of 5 states where pediatric hospital beds are at 90% or greater capacity. At Texas Children's in Houston, more than 40 children are hospitalized with RSV, at least 10 in the ICU.
I think there was really nothing that could have prepared us for the numbers we're seeing now.
Rebecca Lara says her whole family got sick, including all 5 children. 5-week-old Lily on oxygen for 3 days with RSV.
It's hard. It really is because, you feel so helpless.
Experts are reminding parents to call a doctor immediately if your child has difficulty breathing, is wheezing, making grunting sounds, or their skin color starts to change. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
And the United States is off to an early flu season. Scientists say we haven't seen a flu season this bad this early in nearly a decade. The CDC released information on flu hospitalizations this year. 15 per 1 million people are hospitalized with the flu. Compare that number to a few years ago in 2019, where 4 per 1 million people in the United States were hospitalized in late October. If you take a look at the number of flu deaths from that same 2019 to 2020 flu season, nearly 500 children died and nearly 25,000 adults died of the flu, according to the CDC. The flu vaccine prevented 6,300 deaths and more than 100,000 hospitalizations. It also prevented up to 7.5 million illnesses that year. And if you've heard the term flu by boo, it means you should get your flu shot by the time Halloween rolls around, and you still do have time this weekend. Meanwhile, 1 in 5 U.S. adults say they do not plan to get the updated COVID-19 booster shot. About half of adults have either received their booster or plan to get it, according to new data from the CDC published on Friday. Overall, the CDC reports about 23 million people over age 5 and up have gotten the updated COVID booster vaccine. But nearly a quarter of adults under the age of 50 say they probably or definitely will not get the booster at all. Washington Governor Jay Inslee announced last month Monday will be the last day of the state's COVID emergency declaration, saying in a statement, ending this order does not mean we take the pandemic less seriously or will lose focus on how this virus has changed the way that we live. We will continue our commitments to the public's well-being, but through different tools that are now more appropriate for the era that we have entered. And according to the CDC, Washington state has one of the lowest COVID death rates across all 50 states, with a total of 191 deaths for 100,000 people. The U.S. has a total of 321 deaths for 100,000 people, while Idaho has a total of 291 COVID deaths per 100,000 people. And if you have high blood pressure, you might want to take your medication that the doctor is prescribing. A new study says it can even help prevent dementia later in life. The European Heart Journal published the study earlier this week. Researchers followed more than 28,000 adults from 20 countries, and they all had a history of hypertension. They say the outcome didn't change based on age, sex, or stroke history. And it's the last weekend to donate to Coats for Kids. The weather is cooling down fast, and all of the U.S. and all of us, that is, here at 4 News Now, want to make sure every child stays warm with a winter coat this season. The collection of new and gently used coats will end on Monday, but there's still time to drop off coats to one of our collection centers. For a full list of where you can donate, just head to KXLY.com/Coats for Kids. That's also where you win and where you can drop off a coat.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
Watch me. Watch me tumble, jump, and soar. When our squad is on point, we own the floor. Dazzling stunts and dances are my jam. Pain once caused issues, but they had a plan. A life-changing brace with no surgery to fear. Activity without limits, one more reason to cheer. Watch me. Industry-leading scoliosis treatment at Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
The world is a vampire.
Two of rock's biggest bands in a must-see monumental night. Spirits on Fire Tour. The Smashing Pumpkins. With very special guest, Jane's Addiction. November 9th, Spokane Arena. Spirits on Fire Tour. The Smashing Pumpkins with Jane's Addiction and Poppy. On sale now at ticketswest.com.
In America, we have a pressure from every quarter trying to destroy the opportunity for people to be able to build their own futures. We see an economy that has gone from the strongest economy that we have seen to one in which we have raging inflation. Our borders must be protected. We are seeing unprecedented entry, 2 million illegal entries, with the drugs and the violence that comes with it. I'm going to fight to make sure that we stop those problems. I'm Mike Crapo, and I approve this message.
Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning is your family-owned and operated #1 HVAC contractor in the Northwest. Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning would like to introduce our own carbon reduction program. Buy a new energy-efficient furnace from Bill's Heating and receive a matching air conditioner with installation absolutely free. No hidden fees, no conditions, no exceptions. Buy a furnace, get a free AC from Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call today for estimates and repairs.
When I was 18, I really wanted to go to college and I wanted to study art, but I didn't know how to go about it. Being undocumented for most of my life, I wasn't able to apply for FAFSA or any financial aid, so I took out some private loans. I kept paying and paying and paying and paying, but they just wouldn't go down. BCU helped me get back on my feet. I took out a credit card with them. It allowed me to rebuild my credit. I just always assumed that the default was like, well, banks always take advantage of you. Being in a credit union has proved to me that, no, there is an alternative.
4 News Now is brought to you by End the Violence.
Coming into the weekend, the odds of the Eastern Washington Eagles making the FCS playoffs were slim to none. But if they could string together a few wins here and there and get over 500, you never know what could happen. After all, it is college football. And after a victory last weekend, they had a chance to claim back-to-back wins for the first time this season. But an upstart Portland State team stood in their way on the red turf this afternoon. The game got off to a rough start, though, for the Eagles. On the third play of the game, Vikings quarterback Dante Chachere takes the option himself, cuts through the middle of the field, speeding past the defense for the touchdown, and just like that, it's 7-0 Portland State. The Eastern offense wasn't able to do much of anything early on in this game. On their first offensive possession, Gunnar Talkington's going to take the sack, and the Eagles only managing 33 yards in the entire first quarter. Later on, Portland State going up by 14 and going for the field goal, but it's a fake, and Mateo Talete-Moto will rush it in himself for the score. It's 21-0 Vikings at this point. In fact, they would go up 28-0 in the game. So Eastern just looking for any kind of spark at this point, and they get that in the form of Justice Jackson. He breaks loose alongside the sideline, and he's gone for the 62-yard touchdown, and that gives the Eagles a bit of momentum back, but it wouldn't last long. Just before the break, Portland State in the red zone, and Chachere goes deep to Bo Kelly in the corner of the end zone, and the Vikings strike again, and they take a 37-7 lead going into the locker room. But it's a 60-minute game, and in the fourth quarter, the Eagles have cut the Vikings' lead to just 10, and the defense stepping up big time as Jabali Malari coughs it up, and Eastern recovers with a chance to make it a one-score affair. From there, Talkington leads the offense right down the field and finishes the drive off by hitting Nolan Ohm for the touchdown. And after being left for dead, the Eagles have made it a 3-point game, but they still need to get the ball back to have a chance. And on fourth down in Eagles territory, Portland State is going to go for it, and they rush it with Kelly, and it's just good enough for the first down, and the Vikings can drain the clock from there, and they survive this epic comeback bid by Eastern. And after the game, head coach Aaron Best described his team's performance like Jekyll and Hyde. After giving up 35 points in the first 2 quarters, the defense holds on strong and only limits the Vikings to a field goal in the second half. But in the end, that was just too large of a deficit to come back from.
I think a lot of the time, teams can just say we're losing that bad and just give up and pack up. But I think a lot of guys had a fight in that, and I'm just proud of these guys. But at the end of the day, you can say as much moral victories, but results at the end of the day is a lot better than moral victories, I think.
It doesn't feel good for the offense, and it doesn't feel good for the defense being out there the whole time. I mean, we gotta pick up. We gotta play, start faster and finish stronger, I think. We had no momentum in that first half, and it really wore into the defense, I think, a little bit, leaving them out on the field so much. So it starts with us and ends with us.
Eagles will now hit the road next week for a short bus ride down to the Palouse, where they will take on the 14th ranked Idaho Vandals inside the Kibbie Dome. And speaking of the Vandals, they are currently down in Sacramento in the fourth quarter, going up against the second-ranked Hornets. Idaho hasn't lost since week 2 of the season, but even with a loss tonight, they should still be in good shape as far as the playoffs are concerned. Emily, send it back over to you.
Thanks, Alex. Well, still to come on 4 News Now Special Edition. Idaho farmers are warning of a turkey shortage this Thanksgiving. What they've been facing after the break.
And things are going to be mild and pleasant for at least the first half of the day. And then things start to ease a little bit downhill after that. You'll definitely want to have the 4 News Now weather app handy for tomorrow and beyond. A busy forecast that we'll fill you in on coming up.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
Dear 2029, we look forward to seeing you. After our 160-point quality assurance inspections, we'll be Toyota certified used vehicles with 7-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranties. Not to honk our own horns, but the best new cars make the best used cars. Yours, Toyota.
Get 3.99% APR for up to 60 months on all Camry, Corolla, or RAV4 Toyota certified used models.
Find yours at toyotacertified.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Psoriasis really messes with you. Try, hope, fail.
No one should suffer like that.
I started Cosentyx. 5 years clear.
Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentyx. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections, some serious, and the lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Tell your doctor if your Crohn's disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Best move I ever made.
Ask your dermatologist about Cosentyx.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life, you live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence, we see the life in you.
The election for Spokane County Commissioner will decide the future of our county for years to come. It will determine whether we preserve the status quo that protects the privileged few, or whether we fight for what we deserve, a county where everyone can thrive, no matter their political party, what they look like, or how much money they have. Join us. Together, we will build a safe and vibrant Spokane County.
It's a prime-time Plinko party like you've never seen. Qualify in November and win a shot at Plinko cash at the Kootenai Casino in Bonners Ferry. And our Plinko party is just the beginning. Midweek room rates are just $109 for Kootenai Falls Lodge or $129 for a Riverview room. Both come with breakfast for two. If you like parties and you like winning cash, book a getaway to the Kootenai Casino. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now, Special Edition.
Chicken might be the bird of choice for some in Idaho this Thanksgiving. Farmers there are saying there aren't enough turkeys to go around this year for multiple reasons.
We started off the year as normal at our normal time with 600 birds. Or they had not even left the brooding barn yet. The bird flu came into the area.
Farmers were forced to leave their birds inside, sequestered from other animals and wildlife to keep them healthy, though that faced them with another issue.
Lost almost half of our birds to a piling incident in the barn because they couldn't get outside.
And then the heat wave that came through Idaho also prevented the birds from growing normally. Now inflation is causing the prices of everything from feed to gasoline for equipment to rise, increasing the prices of birds. According to the Department of Agriculture, frozen turkey inventories are 24% below their 3-year average.
First, it's the turkey. What's next? All right, live look over Spokane as we get we've had a beautiful start to the weekend. And, you know, Sunday is not going to be all that bad either, despite some rain threatening in the forecast. And I do think we will see a couple sprinkles around the region tomorrow, but really you can do most of your daily activities before the bulk of the wet weather does arrive. So we're going to be dry most of Sunday. Sunday night, we start to see that rain begin to return. Halloween, it's going to be a much different story. Wet weather. And, well, you can see number 4 there. We'll talk about that coming up here in a few minutes. But this is all because we got another one of these, basically, Mother Nature's fire hose, these atmospheric rivers, these storms that bring us so much wet weather. And even some of it gets across the mountains to us, but it's especially a big deal over on the west side. And we are certainly going to get our fair share of that, but we get to wait at least for a few more hours. Right now, comfortable and in the 40s around the inland northwest. Cloudy skies should keep us on the mild side tonight. Around the metro, only expecting low 40s for most of us, although places like Deer Park and Spirit Lake should get deep down into the 30s as we're waking up on Sunday. By the time we're going to bed on Sunday, it'll be a little soggy out there. We'll show you how long that rain's going to stick around coming up.
Thanks, Matt. Well, in Washington, the race for U.S. Senate is being closely watched. Republican Tiffany Smiley is taking on Democratic incumbent Patty Murray in a Seattle town hall tomorrow. You can watch that right here on 4 News Now, or you can stream it on KXLY.com or KXLY Plus starting at 5. And here at 4 News Now, we want to hear from you this election. Which races do you care about most, and do you have your questions answered? To submit any questions, head over to KXLY.com/forthepeople, where we also have a complete voter guide to help you stay informed before and after you fill out your ballot. Well, coming up on 4 News Now, take a ride on the Air Force drone as Idaho Fish and Game work to protect the vital life of the Kootenai River.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
When I was told I had a brain tumor, my life disappeared in a moment. I feared for my future, but even more, I feared for the ones I love. How would they move on without me? But when my doctor told me about the Gamma Knife of Spokane, everything changed. I can get my brain tumor treated in just 1 day and continue living the life I love. Because of Gamma Knife, I have hope.
You didn't choose cat allergies. You didn't choose your hairline, hot flashes, the flu, or that thing when your knee just gives out for no reason. You didn't choose your bad back, or this, or that. You didn't choose depression, melanoma, or lactose intolerance. But with Kaiser Permanente, you can choose your doctor who works with other best-in-class specialists to care for all that is you.
This is a town called Basic. It's pretty hard to stand out around here. But if you pull up in a 2022 Nissan Rogue, you'll stand out before your feet even hit the pavement.
Can you make mine look like that?
Anything but basic. The 2022 Nissan Rogue. Get 1.9% APR financing for 36 months on Rogue with best-in-class fuel economy.
Look at where we live. All these stories, all this talent and potential, the possibilities that lie ahead. We see what might be and work each day to make it happen by keeping it local. Neighbors investing in neighbors, building on the positive, and bringing all of us a little closer together. WSECU, the credit union working to create a better Washington for all.
It's time to prepare your home for the holidays with the home remodeling experts at Windsor Plywood.
Time to shop for wood.
Discover new colors of luxury vinyl and laminate flooring, or check out many styles of engineered hardwood flooring. And you're going to love Spokane's largest selection of moldings, as well as many exotic hardwoods.
It's where the contractors go to get great ideas or to find replacement and upgraded looks for your home.
Windsor Plywood.
4 News Now is brought to you by End the Violence.
Well, with some sunny skies this morning, I'm sure a lot of you noticed this. I certainly did. And Greg Young did and sent me this picture today. Yeah, that is snow on the top of Mount Spokane. So we're getting closer and closer to ski time, which is great, and snow time down in the valleys, which is, well, probably not as fun, something we're probably not as looking forward to. We may have to pay more attention to that later in the week. But in the meantime, yeah, the snow level is going to stay way, way up there, even above the passes for the rest of the weekend. Temperatures for tomorrow afternoon, again in the 50s. Coeur d'Alene hits up to 53, 55 at the International Airport, and 56 in downtown Spokane, Spokane Valley, mid-50s for Meade and Liberty Lake as well. So it should be another mild day. It will not be as sunny with that storm knocking on our doorstep. So really, you should expect most of the day is going to be cloudy skies. We'll get up into the 50s fairly quickly around midday and stay there. Windy weather as well, so it will feel a little bit on the cooler side with the extra cloud cover blocking out the sun and that wind. Now, by the evening, we're going to see what are just going to be isolated showers become a little bit more widespread, and that's going to carry us on into Halloween. Of course, all because of this system right here. And as this drags to the south, that's going to open up a window for us to get plenty of moisture. You see, as we go through the day on Sunday, those big tall mountains in the Cascades kind of act as a block for all of this wet weather trying to move in. But as it heads further south, look what happens here as we go into Sunday night and Monday. You can see this kind of opening that the Columbia River creates in the mountains. Well, that's a perfect avenue for all that moisture to suddenly show up in our doorstep. And it's going to stick around for a while. This is well past trick-or-treat time on Monday, approaching 10 o'clock, and still the southern half of our region still pouring it on with wet weather. So it is going to be a soggy one, and you should have the rain gear ready for trick-or-treating on Halloween evening. Temperatures in the 50s and 40s, and it is going to be a cold and miserable one. Yeah, just have that extra rain gear. Play it safe out there. If you're driving around tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Monday night, play it safe out there as well. This could be one of the wettest storms we've had really since the spring, especially across North Idaho. By the time we get to early Tuesday morning, we could see some spots that have gotten over an inch of rainfall. We'll likely see some higher creeks and streams as we go through the middle portion of the week as a result. But it's definitely going to be a little bit soggy out there. Now, as we head into the middle of the week, yeah, we do have a chance for some more widespread snow around the region. That's because all the cool air that's going to be dropping in behind this thing. Chilly weather as we get into the middle of the week, and there will be enough residual moisture left over that we might get a couple of opportunities here to pick up some early morning snowflakes, even down into the elevations around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. So that's going to be something we're watching Tuesday night and also on Friday morning when the next warm storm system comes into our area. In the meantime, it's just rain. It's just soggy for now.
Thanks, Matt. Idaho Fish and Game is studying a fish that's iconic to the Kootenai River to help preserve their legacy and importance to the community. Tag along with them tonight on the Air Forward drone over the Kootenai River in tonight's Air Forward Adventure.
We're here on the Kootenai River with Idaho Department of Fish and Game crew set lining for adult sturgeon. Adult sturgeon are iconic species on the Kootenai River. They have tremendous spiritual and cultural value to the Kootenai tribe of Idaho and tremendous recreational and economic importance to the citizens of Idaho. These fish were once abundant in the Kootenai River, but due to land use and operations at Libby Dam, they're no longer able to spawn and reproduce successfully. We're out here catching adult sturgeon to weigh, measure, and tag them to learn about their abundance or numbers of fish out here, how well they survive, how well they grow, when they reach sexual maturity, and learn about cues that help them migrate to places where they can spawn successfully. Currently, it's not legal to fish for sturgeon on the Kootenai River, even to catch and release. This is because these fish are listed as endangered under the Endangered Species Act, and we're trying to protect the fish that we have now so that we'll have them into the future. And by rebuilding the population, we hope to have opportunity for people to fish for sturgeon in the future. These are the largest and longest lived fish in Idaho. Some of these fish can live to 100 years or more, and it can take them 25 years or more to reach sexual maturity. We pull the line in, then the fish will be loaded into a stretcher and winched onto the boat. The stretcher we can put water in that stretcher once it's on the boat so that we have the fish in water to keep it alive and healthy. Then we'll take lengths, weights, we'll scan for previous tags. If the fish hasn't been tagged before, we'll put a new tag in it. Our job is to manage this resource for the public to make sure that we have adequate stocks of fish out here for the public to enjoy into the future so that they have opportunity to come out here and catch these magnificent fish and experience them firsthand.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
I'm Aaron Luna from 4 News Now. There's a lot on the line this election day. Before you vote, get informed with For the People coverage. Send your questions to KXLY.com. We'll get answers now until election day. That's what we mean when we say expect more.
This home is my dream home. My mother's from the South. Her favorite tree was a magnolia tree. I asked the real estate agent, is that a magnolia tree? And she said yes, and it was almost as though my mother was speaking to me saying, yeah, this is the house, you know? BECU made all of this possible. Historically speaking, my ancestors couldn't always buy homes, and that's how you build wealth, right? With this home, I have something to pass along to my family.
When I was told I had a brain tumor, my life disappeared in a moment. I feared for my future, but even more, I feared for the ones I love. How would they move on without me? But when my doctor told me about the Gamma Knife of Spokane, everything changed. I can get my brain tumor treated in just one day and continue living the life I love. Because of Gamma Knife, I have hope.
What is currently going on is not working. We need to reduce crime and improve public safety.
We need to support and refund our police.
The cost of living is drastically affecting my family. Everything now is too expensive.
This year, your vote matters more than ever.
Vote! Vote!
Vote!
This year, I'm voting Republican. We're voting Republican.
I'm voting Republican.
Let's vote.
Do you want to save energy this winter? Time to talk with the experts at Country Homes Power. Save on Valor gas fireplaces that distribute steady, even heat even when the power is out. Turn down your furnace and heat wisely with Valor. Shop the savings at Country Homes Power today.
Don't turn to that crutch in life that you think is going to get you by, but it's ultimately going to take over your life. When you go from being a productive member of society to not having changed your clothes in a month, not knowing the last time you bathed, and feeling worthless. You have worth. There is hope.
4 News Now is brought to you by End the Violence.
It's your last chance to voice your opinion to the FAA on how you feel about squeezing into those airline seats. It's not just a matter of comfort, it's a matter of safety as well. Whit Johnson has that story.
From the tight legroom to squeezing into those middle seats, many passengers have had enough as airplane seats have gotten progressively smaller. But the FAA wants to hear all about it, giving Americans up until November 1st to comment on those nagging airline woes.
Most planes are not comfortable to begin with.
Give me just a little bit more on the waistline.
More than 20,000 people have already submitted feedback. This will help the FAA create new federal standards for seat sizes with minimum dimensions of passenger seats that may be necessary for safety, including, in particular, airplane evacuations. Among some of the ideas, one passenger writing, please make seats at least 36 inches wide. Another saying the recommended seat size should be the same as first class. Kayla Logan, a recent Air Canada passenger, took to TikTok with her criticism.
This is the seat right now. I literally go onto half of the next person's seat.
It was just really eye-opening to me that I didn't fit into these spaces. There was going to be no way that I was accommodated, and it felt like my body wasn't welcome there.
But the FAA makes clear this is about safety, not about passenger comfort or convenience. Congress ordered the FAA to establish minimum airplane seat standards 4 years ago as part of its funding authorization.
They have delayed way too long. They need to follow the law and issue minimum seat regulations. So the majority of the public, at least 90%, can reasonably fit in these seats.
And you can get more information on where to report your thoughts on FAA.org. And a fun activity for families around the Northwest. If you're looking for something to do with your kids this Halloween weekend, head to downtown Spokane for the SPO Candy Crawl. Today and tomorrow, the Numerica Skate Ribbon has a day of trick-or-treating fun. Discover spooky scenes around downtown, find clues, and decipher riddles to earn a bag full of fall goodies. That's happening again from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow. And Monday is Halloween, and while it's a fun time, some parents may be on high alert about allergies.
Snickers, Reese's Pieces, M&Ms, Almond Joy, my favorite, Milky Way, Twix, do contain allergens such as milk, soy, peanuts, potentially wheat. These candies tend to have a higher amount of allergens compared to other candies, such as gummy candies or non-chocolate based candies.
Parents should make sure kids carry any medications they might need with them, like inhalers, EpiPens, or Benadryl. And if a child with allergies does ingest candy and parents are not sure of the ingredients, they should watch closely for any signs of allergic reaction, such as hives, difficulty breathing, or swelling of the lips and tongue. And going through a car wash can sometimes be a bit scary for some people, especially children. But a Wisconsin car wash is taking the scary up a notch, courtesy of Halloween, of course. Tommy's Express Car Wash says it's offering a haunted car wash. They say the tunnel of terror will scare the socks off everyone in your vehicle. And if you'd like to have that happen to you, but you don't live in Wisconsin, well, don't worry. The Scary Tunnel will be in nearly 60 locations nationwide. You can head over to their website to see where and when you can get scared.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
The election for Spokane County Commissioner will decide the future of our county for years to come. It will determine whether we preserve the status quo that protects the privileged few, or whether we fight for what we deserve. A county where everyone can thrive, no matter their political party, what they look like, or how much money they have. Join us. Together, we will build a safe and vibrant Spokane County.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life, you live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence, we see the life in you.
Dear Exit Strategy, all your pieces are in place. A tranquil lake, a serene sky, an emerald forest, a secret hideout. Thanks for being there just when I need you most. Always Toyota SUVs.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan with roadside assistance. Visit your local Toyota dealer to learn more. Reserve yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Gloria. She hasn't worked this hard to only get this far with her cholesterol. Taken with a statin, Leqvio can lower bad cholesterol by over 50% and keep it low with 2 doses a year. Side effects were injection site reaction, joint pain, urinary tract infection, diarrhea, chest cold, pain in legs or arms, and shortness of breath. With Leqvio, lowering cholesterol becomes just one more thing life throws your way. Ask your doctor about Leqvio. Lower, longer, Leqvio.
September 7th was horrible.
All hell broke loose.
80% of the town lost their homes.
My family's home burned to the ground. It was just heartbreaking. Kathy was there for us.
Not taking political sides.
She's done a lot.
Put her name on the line to help here.
Kathy helped us start the journey to rebuilding.
She went above and beyond. She genuinely, actually cares.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers, and I approve this message.
Well, as far as enjoyable weather, it's definitely for the rain lovers and maybe even the snow lovers as the week goes on. If you like the sunshine, it's going to be a little bit harder to find, guys.
All right, thanks, Matt. Well, you can keep up to date with all of the news on KXLY.com. Enjoy your Saturday night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.